Ah, fourth grade. What a year. I had friends, I had girls crushing on me, I was funnier and more creative than I had ever been and have ever been since. In truth, fourth grade was the peak of my life, and it's been downhill ever since. Now I'm 22 and jobless with a career-ending back injury making anime reviews. On the other hand, fourth grade for Shizuka Kuze is as bad as school can get. She's being relentlessly bullied with no one to turn to, and that results in the unfolding of today's anime, Takopi's Original Sin, one of the best anime I have seen in a long time. It follows the story of the aforementioned fourth grader Shizuka Kuze and her new alien friend Takopi, a happy alien from planet Happy. Takopi came to Earth with one objective: make people happy. And his first assignment is Shizuka, a poor girl with no friends, an absent mother, no dad, and a bully who wants nothing more than to see her suffer. Going forward, there will be major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the anime yet, don't watch ahead. Instead, go binge all the episodes and then come back here to hear the immensely life-changing insight I have to offer. Trust me when I tell you, you will not regret watching this anime. It's 6 episodes of beautiful animation and heart-wrenching story. And unless you have trouble with dark themes and subject matter like suicide and abuse, there's nothing to lose. At the very least, watch the first episode. If you like it, finish it, and come back to this video to see my extremely deep and nuanced review of this once-in-a-lifetime anime. But we're not getting into the deep and nuanced takes just yet. Instead, I want to talk about something that often goes overlooked in these plot-heavy, deep anime, the end.
One man's 2-year relationship is another man's first link, backseat demon. Streets is cold, man.
Every cut of every episode of this anime is genuinely some of the most beautiful and fluid animation I have ever seen. And that's not hyperbole. The way they can so efficiently depict the tone of whatever situation is unfolding makes every plot point resonate so much more deeply than it would otherwise. For example, the entire 4th episode does such a great job of depicting the warm allure of the pancakes Azuma is so desperately craving, which of course also symbolizes his mother's love and acknowledgement, and then changing the tone to the cold and depressing reality that he has to face when he falls short of her near impossible standards. Then there are the scenes with Shizuka, when she's beaten and bruised, viciously contrasting the scenic countryside scenes behind her, or strikingly sticking out in a classroom full of sheltered children who have no idea what it's like to go through what she's going through. Beyond that, the movement of the camera, the sweeping shots, the beautiful colors, the way the line work can enhance the seriousness of situations, the way the events contrast with the beautifully animated backgrounds. There's so much I could praise about the animation for this show, especially in a time when it feels like every new anime has crazy good animation. Seeing one with such a unique style that still manages to have the most beautiful cuts I've ever seen really sticks out and puts Takopi in a league of its own. But the best part of Takopi's animation is how it serves and enhances the plot.
Should I get a birthday cake with chocolate in it, or should I get a chocolate cookie cake for my birthday? Because I like both, but I can't decide. Help me choose.
Here's how I'll torture you, David. Number 1, the marrow furnace. I'll inject liquid metal.
When I first heard of Takopi's Original Sin, I was scrolling Instagram and saw one of those new anime episode rating posts where they rate all the episodes that came out that week, and as usual, I checked to see if my favorites were the highest rated. But as usual, they weren't, because just like every other time, some random anime popped up getting a 9.9 or some shit. This shit has got to be overrated, I thought to myself. But I'm the kind of person who has to confirm these thoughts, so I went and watched. 2 episodes were out at the time, and those 2 episodes had me more engaged than damn near any 2 episodes of any other anime ever have. From the very first scene, when I saw this torn down 4th grader meet this circular octopus alien, I was hooked. And as I saw more and more of this girl's life, and more of this alien trying his hardest to fix it, I became so engrossed in the world of Takopi, in the world of Shizuka. This world where she experiences nothing but pain. Watching this creature that knows nothing but joy and kindness battle through horrors it had never even imagined, all to put a smile on this girl's face, was one of the most emotionally taxing, confusing, ambivalent experiences I've ever had. 1 second, I'm begging Takopi to just kill Shizuka's bully, Marina, because she's a horrible person. But wait, Marina's getting abused at home, which is why she's a bully. So you have to fix her home life. But now the question is, how do you do that? Her mom is the one abusing her, but then her dad is the source of that anger in her mom. So now Takopi would have to somehow make the mom happy, or somehow stop the dad from cheating. Oh, wait, no, he actually just killed her. Wow. I didn't think that was actually gonna happen. I know I said I wanted him to do it, but now that it's happened, I'm not too sure. That's basically the thought process I went through. So many times I thought one thing and then the show said, no, actually, fuck you. That's not a great solution at all, and it's actually probably the dumbest thing ever thought of. The same thing happened with Azuma being friends with Shizuka. I thought, please, Takopi, just make Azuma and Shizuka friends, and then all will be well. Nope. Azuma even just interacting with her puts him on a path of complete devotion, which just isn't right for him because it exploits the trauma he received from his mother. The only time I was really right about a solution was Azuma just talking to his brother. Everything else, I missed. I wanted him to kill Marina. Obviously not the right move. Then I figured, why not just try to make Marina happy instead? Only to figure out that that's what he was originally trying to do. I basically just followed the exact same thought process as him, except for his initial decision to kill Shizuka. This show just had my head all over the place. Everyone involved was just so weighed down and possessed by trauma that there really seemed to be no way to reach a happy ending. And as I said earlier, this trauma affecting everyone's decision making and Takopi being a general idiot just somehow made me so angry with everyone while simultaneously desperately wanting them to succeed. Which brings me to what is, in my opinion, one of the greatest strengths of Takopi, the depth of
telling me to ask about some court case or something.
What's your story with your court case?
A lot of people are spamming with court case.
As I said earlier, this show had me experiencing all sorts of mixed emotions. The main culprit of this is Takopi, but I'll save him for last. Instead, I want to talk about both Marina and Shizuka. For both these characters, I bounce between being disgusted with them to feeling the worst I've ever felt for anyone. Obviously, at the start, I felt so bad for Shizuka. As I said earlier, I wanted Marina to get smacked up and die for the shit she was doing. But then that happens, and Shizuka is happy. And she starts taking advantage of Azuma, knowingly or not, making him take the fall for her. Then she presumably kills her dad's kids, who were innocent in all of this, and is ready to go kill everyone in an animal shelter. For a character we see get viciously bullied to the point of suicide, I hold a lot of space for her to do fucked up shit. It takes a lot for me to get to the point where I'm like, okay, now you're going a bit too far. But Taizan achieves that, and just as she becomes too psychopathic for me to back, boom, perspective switch. Now, I feel bad for Marina. There were even times I felt a pit in my stomach for Marina's mom. Obviously, it's not her fault that she was cheated on, but the fact remains she abused her daughter extensively. But still, when she begs Takopi to bring her daughter back, seeing through the disguise, my heart dropped. As I said, my emotions were all over the place, and this applies to no one more than Takopi. 1 second, I love him, and all I want is for Shizuka to listen to him and take even just a little bit of his positivity. Next, I'm raging at this little alien freak because he can't get it through his squishy head that the things Shizuka is going through aren't going to be solved by a simple conversation. Seriously. So many times during the first 2 episodes, I kept thinking, oh my god, I hate this fucking creature, man. But then he does something like go undercover as Shizuka and starts getting beat up and panicking and scared, and I'm like, okay, that's enough, stop, please! But at the same time, I'm thinking finally he'll understand the gravity of the position Shizuka is in. And he does, kinda. He grows a little bit, understands that these issues need more than one-on-one interaction. But there's just no one there to mediate. Seriously, every adult in this show is useless. Shizuka's mom is fucked up. Marina's mom is fucked up. Both of their dads just don't give a shit about them. And these teachers got their degrees off Temu. The only one who cares enough is Azuma, but he cares so much because he's also fucked up. And caring for Shizuka ends up with him transfixed, unable to move on in life. It stands to solidify his trauma and trap him in it. The only character who's actually dependable in this show is Junya, Azuma's perfect older brother. He avoided the abuse from their mother by achieving the impossible standards she set and seeing through her phony prizes, and he saves Azuma through that knowledge and with his power of being the only emotionally stable and intelligent person in this entire town. I think he is an awesome character who is desperately needed in this show of abused 4th graders and parents who suck ass at parenting. He brings, as the episode name suggests, salvation in its truest form for both Azuma and me. Honestly, when he opened up to Azuma and something finally went right and no one died, I started cheering. I was jumping for joy. I was doing backflips in my room. It felt like the ending of Perfect Blue. Not just because I have an older brother and am an older brother and can understand that brotherly love, but also because it's been episode after episode of straight fucked up bullshit and I needed a little bit of reprieve. Something good, making Junya, as the episode title suggests, my salvation too. Seriously, I cannot tell you how scared I was Azuma was gonna kill him. Throughout everything, Junya was the only person with his head on straight. He's presented as this perfect person by Azuma, and he's a perfect person to us too. After all, in this world where people are bullying and killing and all this other shit, being bad at Monster Hunter doesn't even register. Which brings me to probably the one thing this series is best at, pulling.
Now comes Dave, the best man. Guess he wasn't so lucky.
As a 22-year-old university graduate who, despite making videos about anime, likes to think he's fairly mature, I thought that my thought process throughout this entire series would be that of someone these young kids could rely on. But I was honestly just on straight bullshit too. I don't know how many times I want to mention I was hoping for a 4th grader to get beat to death, but I'll say it again. I was on my knees praying for Marina to get what was coming to her. This is not the thought process of a 22-year-old who just spent 4 years studying justice in university. 4 years of psychology, sociology, and philosophy classes, and the best I could come up with was use your alien powers and kill this 4th grader who comes from a broken home. That's all to say that this show pulled me in and had its way with me. I was fully invested. So invested that I started thinking like these dumb little kids, which I guess is just exemplified by the time I spent praising Junya, who is younger than me by a significant margin, by the way. The show does such a good job of reeling you in and making you understand the psychology of each character, their importance to each other, their utility to each other. It truly makes you feel like you're there, and that's thanks to the wonderful writing. And as I said earlier, the animation that's able to perfectly encapsulate and present these scenes. Before this video ends, I just want to talk about the inspiration this show takes from Catholicism and Jesus, because I find it to be a very interesting aspect of it. Takopi, much like Jesus, dies for the sins of the people he's trying to save. He does his freaky happy magic and becomes the catalyst to the one solution: friendship. He becomes the thing that connects these two people, whose lives seem to be entangled in all the worst ways, making them become each other's support. He came to 2016 with the intent of killing Shizuka to make Marina happy, ended up killing Marina to make Shizuka happy, but in the end chose to make the ultimate sacrifice, killing himself to make both of them happy. And also Asuma, although I don't think he had to kill himself to do that. But there's a chance he didn't kill himself. Maybe he acted as their guardian angel, unseen by them but pulling strings to bring them together. But the fact is, he had to remove himself from their lives, or at least their memories, just a little bit. Also that their shared memory of the one person who was always unconditionally kind to them could bring them together. Anyways, that's all for today. Takopi is probably a 10. Maybe it'll change when I am a few months removed from this show. But right now, the way I see it, it was a 10 out of 10. And you need to go watch it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Adeuces.